Guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to start my series of pronouncing Demon Slayer names. I already made a video on how to spell Demon Slayer names. If you want to check that out first, I kind of break down some of the alphabet and I'm only going to give a brief overview in this video, so definitely check that video out before you come here. But once you've watched that, let's talk about pronouncing Demon Slayer names. And also a quick disclaimer, I obviously am not Japanese, but I have been learning the Japanese language for about I keep saying the amount of time wrong because I've been actually learning for like 4 years, but I've been officially learning for about 2 years, and I work with a tutor weekly, all that fun stuff, and I know the basics. I know how to pronounce things. It's one of the first things that you learn because you learn about the alphabets first, obviously, so you can trust me. Also, if you don't want to trust me, that's totally fine. Just go watch the anime subbed. If you're worried about how to pronounce a character name, just make sure that you do not use the dub as a North Star because the dub will pronounce it wrong since those are also English speakers. They are supposed to have dialect coaches, but I have definitely heard bits and pieces of the dub where they have pronounced the names wrong. So you can't really use that as a good North Star. If you really want to make sure you're saying it right, just watch the anime subbed, listen to the Japanese voice actors when they say the names, and just try to copy what they do because they are real-life Japanese people, of course. But today we're going to start off with our main character. That's the easiest one to do. You need to watch my previous video about how to spell Demon Slayer names. I kind of deep dive into the alphabets, but I'll give you a brief overview. There are 3 alphabets in the Japanese language: kanji, hiragana, and katakana. Hiragana and katakana are completely phonetic. They only represent phonetic sounds. They don't represent any meanings or anything. However, kanji, which has like over 10,000 as far as I know, that's a lot, by the way, those have all different kinds of pronunciations, meanings. Some words have 2 different kanjis for what you're referring to. A good example of this is atsui. It is the word for hot. You use a different kanji if you're referring to the weather compared to like that water is hot. So it can get very nuanced and confusing, but that's just like the basics. Whenever you spell something with kanji, it has a hiragana counterpart, aka a furigana, and they will put those like next to the kanjis, especially in something like the Demon Slayer manga where they use a lot of rare kanjis, and that just helps people to know how they're going to pronounce that kanji. 99% of the Demon Slayer names are written in kanji with their furigana counterpart, and I'm going to help you understand what each one is and how to pronounce it exactly. Keep in mind that when we are reading these names, we are reading them translated into what's called Romaji, aka the Roman alphabet, and what the translators do is they take the closest possible sound that is represented by it into the Roman alphabet, which means that sometimes it's not exactly the way our brains are going to read it because we have different rules, different English rules, and we have to kind of turn that part of our brain off when we read Demon Slayer names because we are reading a Japanese word that's just been given to us in Romaji. English rules do not apply. Keep that in mind. You have to keep in mind of the Japanese rules instead. Now, there are 5 vowels in the Japanese alphabet, and these never change their sound. It is a, I, u, e, and o. Keep in mind the E sound is represented with the letter I in our alphabet, and the E sound is represented with the letter E in our alphabet, and then the U sound is represented with the letter U in our alphabet. Alright, so those are the ones that can be the hardest to understand because we have different sounds for those letters pretty commonly, but they will always be E, E, and U. Alright? Same with ah and o, but those are pretty obvious, like A is gonna always be ah and O is gonna always be O. Double vowels do not mean you change the sound, it just means you stretch it out. I talked about that a lot in my other video, so again, check it out. But let's talk about our main character first. So I want to talk also briefly about the meaning of his name because I think it's very interesting. But this is his name in kanji. This is both his family name and his given name. And what's interesting about his given name is the first kanji, which looks like that, represents the meaning charcoal. So that kind of works out for their family because they work with fire and charcoal. The middle kanji means like to heal or cure. It can also mean calm down, at peace, which I really like because I feel like that just represents like his soul. His soul is very calm. It's very at peace. I mean, we got to see it in the anime and it's just like really, really beautiful. I think it has a lot of meaning behind it. And then the final kanji, this one is just a very oftenly used boy end to a name, and it represents a son, but it's a very like masculine ending to a name. As far as the family name goes, the first kanji represents a traditional Japanese wood or charcoal fueled stove. So, you know, that that checks out. And then the second kanji means gate. So now that we understand what his name means, let's talk about what it sounds like. So the first character in his family name is Ka. It looks like this. The next one is Ma. It looks like this. And finally, Do, which, fun fact, this character originally is written and sounds like To, but there is a little dakuten, that's those two little lines at the top, and that changes anything that starts with the T sound to a D sound. So, Kamado. Kamado. And as far as inflections goes, they say it pretty straightforward. It is just Kamado. It is not Kamado. It is just Kamado. Okay, now for his given name. Now this is one I've actually seen, or heard, I should say, mispronounced in the dub. It's totally fine. It is what it is. So just a reminder, don't take the dub as your North Star for how to pronounce these names. But first we have Ta, and then we have that one standalone consonant character in the entire Japanese language, N. And then this is where we can start to mispronounce it. This is the character for Ji. Okay, this is pronounced Ji, not J. Ji. Remember that the letter I always represents the E sound. So when we get it in Romanji with that I, we want to make sure we pronounce it E. So Ji. And then also this character also has a dakuten. And so it is originally pronounced Shi. And then when Sh is changed with the dakuten, it's changed to the letter J. Also, if you see the letter J, it's always pronounced J, J, J. If you see the letter G, it's always pronounced G. Okay, and then next we have ro. Now this one is also pretty oftenly mispronounced because we see it and we just think row, like row your boat, but they don't really have anything that fully represents the like super soft R sound in their alphabet. It's more hard, so they kind of roll their tongue. It's a mix of like R and L, so it's more ro. And then finally we just have this random U character. That does not mean you have to add U at the end. It just means that they want you to sit on that ro sound a little bit longer. Tanjiro. Tanjiro. Now, it is very common as far as inflections goes for the E vowel to be dropped. In this case, they're not actually dropping it, but they are definitely dropping low on that. Tanjiro. Tanjiro. Kamado Tanjiro. And there's how you pronounce the name. So again, I'm just going to insert a couple clips of them saying his name in the anime so you can listen to the original Japanese voice actors say it. A reminder that they are going to say it absolutely correct since that is their native language and that is the language that they speak.
Tanjiro.
If you are going to say Kamado Tanjiro or just say Tanjiro like I say very, very often, just make sure you're saying it as Tanjiro. It is not Tanjiro. It is not Tanjiro. It is not Tanjiro. Like, it is Tanjiro. Tanjiro. But now you know how to say his name right. If you like this series, make sure you leave a comment that you want to see more. Let me know what character you want to do next. I can go just down the line of main characters, or I can do requests, so just let me know. But I'm super excited to introduce this new series. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment, and also follow me on all my social medias. I am at Looking Nerdy on Instagram, X, and TikTok. But with that, that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. My dog just shook her head. You probably heard that. Thank you for watching, everyone, and mata ne!